My main objective is for every person with epilepsy is to maintain their health, not to promote cycling. I don't promote cycling to them, because for a person who cannot read an aura or who is having a generalized seizure, it is very risky for that person doing cycling. So I always advise them that if you want to be a physically active, so do some walks, some easy walks. If you feel that yes, you can go for a running, go and run. And if you feel like yes, I can do cycling, you have to take a company with yourself, you have to do some precautions, then only I can say for cycling, else I won't be saying yes, you can do cycling. Life is all about ups and downs, so don't get too much excited when you are into your up phase, and don't get too much depressed into your down phase. Make your willpower strong so that you can get back into your normal life. So this is something which I have learned from my whole life.
I am Baiki Venki, and this is the Working Athlete Podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, time management, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future episodes. Today's guest, Vinay Jani, is an epilepsy awareness advocate. Vinay was diagnosed with epilepsy when he was 21 years old. After the initial shock and depression, he had come to accept his diagnosis and started working with his neurologist to deal with his medical condition and tried to lead as normal a life as possible. While dealing with the condition, he managed to lose more than 65 kgs of weight and started cycling and running. He went on to complete a super randonneur series 4 times and completed 1,000-kilometer rides twice. In running, he completed a half marathon and a marathon as well. In this episode, Vinay shares his journey of dealing with epilepsy and pursuing endurance sports as well as losing weight. He warns that it might not be safe for everyone with epilepsy to pursue endurance sports, but it is possible to become aware of the condition and lead a safe and healthy life while dealing with epilepsy. It was an eye opening interaction on the condition for me. Hope this spreads awareness about this condition among the audience. Now, let us get into my conversation with Vinay. All right, welcome to the Working Athlete Podcast, Vinay.
Yeah, hi Venki, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Great, Vinay. It is great to have you on the Working Athlete podcast. Let us start by talking about what is work for you.
Work for me is my business. Beside my business, I do endurance cycling, running,
Mhm.
which is my passion, and I do social work as well. I do advocacy for person with epilepsy, which I'm
Okay.
doing for past 2.5 years.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So, Vinay, I want to understand your endurance journey and also your condition with epilepsy and how you deal with it when it comes to leading the normal life as well as while handling while pursuing the endurance sports, right? So let us like start from the beginning as and understand help me understand how did you kind of get into endurance sport. Were you an active kid throughout
No,
school and
I
stuff?
was I was I was not an active kid in my school life.
Hmm.
To be very frank, when I was in first year, I was weighing 135 kg.
First year of degree.
Yes, first year of my degree, I was weighing 135 kg, and
135. So how
yes,
old were you at that time?
I was 18 years old.
As an 18-year-old you were 135.
Yes,
Okay.
and one of my close friend, Mehul, he pushed me for fitness, and he suggested me a dietitian as well. So I started consulting that dietitian, and simultaneously I joined a gym.
Hmm.
So I lost weight around 65 kgs. I like after diet I cut down 65 kgs and I was weighing 70 kgs.
Wow. Well, from 135 to 70.
Yes, and I continued my gym workouts after my diet, and in 2004 I started doing my own business.
Okay. I want to kind of understand, your that weight loss journey, right? From
Yes,
135 to 70 kilos. Some
yes,
65 kgs is like, almost half of that weight. So,
yes.
what were the things that you did? What was the diet regimen that you were following, and what was the exercise regimen that you were following to during that journey?
I was doing a regular gym workouts so that I should not lose my muscles, and my diet was normal. Like I was avoiding. My dietitian strictly said you will not eat fried food, and beside this you will avoid sweet. And she decided that you have to eat your dinner latest by 7 p.m. So I still follow that rule.
Okay, okay. But apart from that, you said no sweets, no fried food. But
Mm.
apart from that, what was the food general intake
Some
like?
combination, sometime combination of foods,
Hmm.
like combination of carbohydrates and protein. How body is behaving, his body is gaining weight or losing weight.
Hmm.
So
And was it like measured quantities?
yes,
What was
measured,
measured?
measured quantity.
Okay. And how long did it take to lose this 65 kgs?
That time I was young, so it took almost 7 months. So I was losing 10 kgs a month.
Wow.
But now, if I think about losing weight, I cannot lose more than 4 kgs a month.
Right. No, even 4 kgs a month is a lot. 10 kgs is huge. But
Yes.
yeah, talking of weight loss, getting difficult as you age. I mean, I can testify for that because now I struggle with weight a lot. At 45, it is immensely hard to lose any weight. But yeah, that's good. Now after that weight loss journey, what was it? What were you doing? Did you? Uh,
I
yeah.
continued my gym workouts and I kept
Hmm.
my diet normal. I used to like eat sweets, but occasionally.
Hmm.
I like if I want to eat sweet, I eat very occasionally,
Okay, like not regular,
not
right?
regular.
Right. Excellent. So now from that, how did you get into like endurance sports like running and cycling?
So it's a long journey. Like
Hmm.
in 2004, I started my business,
Hmm.
and in 2005, I met a road accident,
Okay.
and later on, I had some series of seizures due to epilepsy. So
Okay.
I met. Yes,
So
you were
what
asking.
was this? What was this road accident? How did it happen? And did it
Uh,
have any was it the kind of reason for the subsequent seizures and stuff?
Subsequent seizures can basically epilepsy can happen to anybody at any age.
Hmm.
So it happened to me when I was 21 years old.
Okay.
So I consulted many doctors. Some doctors were saying it can be treated through medicines, but you have to take a course of 3 years, and after that, the medicine will be withdrawal. The withdrawal will happen.
Okay. So this accident has nothing to do with the condition as such, right?
No,
Okay.
but yes, a person with epilepsy is not advised to drive.
Okay. Could it be that you had some seizure kind of incident and that
Yes,
resulted in
yes,
an accident?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. So, I mean, did you get to know that? Did you figure it out at that time, or
No, no.
how did you get to know?
I was not aware of that. That this is epilepsy. But
Hmm.
when I consulted neurologist that time, and my family became overprotective, so they were not letting me go outside home alone.
Hmm.
So I said, what is happening? Why you are not letting me go outside alone? Because they were scared. They were
Right.
if you get a seizure, then who will take care of you?
Right.
So this was kind
For
of
for those who might not be aware of epilepsy, and the related symptoms and the effects, can you just briefly touch upon that?
epilepsy is a seizure, I would say, and it is divided into three now, generally into three parts. One is absence seizure, in which a person will lose his or her consciousness for some time. Second is focal seizures, which is divided into two parts, and in which one is called focal seizures. A person will not lose consciousness, but some movement of mouth will happen. Second is second part of focal seizure is complex partial, in which a person will lose his or her consciousness as well.
Okay.
So I have complex partial seizures.
Mm-hmm.
Second is generalized seizures. Now generalized has the vast range of seizures.
Okay.
So in which the whole body movement can happen.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That is a kind of most common thing that you happen to see, I think, right?
Yes.
Is that correct? Right.
यस
So
इसको
now,
इसको इसको जो है जनरली हिंदी में अगर मैं बोलूँ तो मिर्गी का दौरा भी बोलते
okay, okay. So I mean, so this is like you have something called partial complex
हैं यस
seizures, is it?
यस
Okay.
यस
Where you would lose consciousness.
यस
Okay, for a few seconds.
around 30 to 40 seconds.
Okay.
But yes, again, I would say if they are going above 5 minutes, it can be fatal. Any
Okay.
kind of seizures which are going
Mhm.
above 5 minutes, it can be fatal.
So how do you make sure that what are the things that one can do to help a person in undergoing seizure?
First of all, if a person is having a seizure, so if he or she is traveling in some public transport, so they should be lay down on the floor in that transport vehicle, and if they are wearing a tie, they should open a person should open the tie so that he or she can breathe properly, and they can tilt that person
Okay.
so that no injury should happen to that person.
Okay.
Rather than beside this, no, there is some superstition in India that some people brings their shoe and to closer to the nose of that person.
Right.
So
And
that
we also
that
see some people using keys, handing over
yes,
keys and
yes,
all
yes.
that.
This is a myth. This is actually a myth.
Okay.
But there are some SOS medicines which are generally neurologists are prescribing to a person if a seizure is prolonging for more than 2 minutes to break the
Okay.
seizure.
Okay. Right. So, apart from making sure that the person is able to breathe, make them lie down, ensuring that they are able to breathe, and
Yes,
providing tilting them a little bit so that they don't injure themselves hitting the ground and stuff.
yes,
You a general person will not be able to do anything else, right? Apart
yes,
from that.
yes, yes.
Okay.
But beside this, they can watch the person how what is the duration of the seizure.
And also maybe call for medical help and
Yes,
stuff.
if seizure is prolonged, they can call for the medical help.
Oh, right. So coming back to your experience with initial diagnosis, and then how did you kind of deal with?
So initially, I started with homeopathy treatment, not with
Mhm.
allopathy, but that didn't work for me. So after some time, I switched to Ayurvedic treatment. Again, it didn't help me, and in 2008 I had a generalized seizure. A person who are having a complex partial or a partial seizure, they are like, it is possible that they can have a generalized seizure.
Okay.
It is possible that they can have a generalized seizure. So I had a generalized seizure in December 2008, and I was hospitalized. So I met a neurologist over there, and he suggested me that uh, I'm I'm prescribing you medication which is not as per your body weight. Now it's up to you whether you want to reduce your weight or you want to increase the dosage of your medication.
Okay. So, but you already lost a ton of weight and you came to 70, right?
Yes,
Why? Yeah.
due to depression, I gained 40 kg because I
Okay.
stopped
So
doing.
you, because of the diagnosis in 2005, you again kind of you went into depression and then gained
Yes,
weight again. Okay.
yes, I
So.
stopped doing physical activities and I gained weight.
Mhm.
So from 2008 onwards, I resumed my workouts slowly and gradually and had a seizure free life.
Okay.
And after 3 years, my doctor decided to withdraw my medication. So
Okay.
if withdrawal of the medication, I would say they will not stop the medication immediately. They will start withdrawing slowly and gradually along with time.
Mhm.
They will
Okay.
see what is happening.
Okay.
So it took almost 6 months.
Okay. And now, are you medication free? How do you
No, no,
manage?
no.
Mm.
After that, I lived almost 2 years seizure free life.
Okay.
I got married. I lived seizure free life for 2 years. And in 2014, I had a reoccurrence.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I met my neurologist again, and he resumed my medications immediately.
Okay.
And but this time it was not getting controlled through medicine, so he added one more medicine. And in 2016, I had a fever.
Okay.
I met an accident, and after that, I had a fever.
Right.
That accident was not due to seizure, but
Okay.
so in that phase, I was like in mood to change my neurologist.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily, I got some reference of Dr. Manjari Tripathi, who is a neurologist in AIMS, and she's a professor over there.
Okay.
So I met her and I started consulting her. But she started consulting me.
Right.
So 3 years I started. She was consulting me, and in the time phase of 3 years, my medications were changed, and she tried almost 20 medications.
Mm-hmm.
She was adding and she was withdrawing some medication.
Okay. To see
But
which one works best.
yes, which one works best? But still, there was no month in which I was not getting. I was getting sick.
Okay. So every month it became an so from years without seizure occurrence, now it has become so regular that almost every month you were having an
Yes,
occurrence of
every month
seizure.
I was having seizures on an average 3 to 4 seizures every month.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And in 2019, she said, "You're as per normally, like if a person who is taking these anti-epileptic drugs and it is not affecting a person, so they call it a drug-resistant epilepsy."
Okay. Mm.
That
So the drugs won't have any effect on the condition.
yeah.
Right. So how do you deal with that?
So that person has to undergo some test for operation purpose.
Mm.
So every person with epilepsy is not qualified for surgery. Only 25% are qualified for surgery
Mm-hmm.
because every epilepsy is not curable through surgery.
Okay. So when you are saying epilepsy, curing epilepsy through surgery, is does that mean that it is localized due to some
Some part
condition
of
in the
brain.
brain, some
Yes,
part of brain?
some
Okay.
part of brain.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. You were tested for that. So.
So I got tested through video EEG, and after that I got tested through MEG test. And after these tests, my there was one more test which is called contrast MRI and functional MRI. After these
Mhm.
tests, they discussed my case with the neurosurgeon, and my neurosurgeon is Dr. P. Sarachandra. He's also working in AIMS, and he said yes, he's qualified for the surgery. So I
Okay.
got my surgery done in March 2021.
Last year.
This year. Oh, March 2021. March 2022.
Okay. So
Yes.
like a couple of months back.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, was the surgery successful? What is the
Yes,
prognosis
yes.
now?
It was a successful surgery. It was a successful
Okay.
surgery.
Excellent.
So it's been
Congratulations.
almost, thank you so much. So it's been now almost, I will be touching 3 months sooner, very soon.
Uh,
And I'm living a seizure life now. But
Amazing.
yes,
Very, very good.
after surgery, the withdrawal of the medication will take time.
Okay. No, but
They,
during this journey of dealing with epilepsy from 2005 till now 2022, right? you
yes.
um you you have also kind of got into endurance sport like running and cycling, and have done cycling up to 1,000 kilometers and all that, right? So how did you get into that, and how did you deal with those endurance events? How did you get through those endurance events while dealing with?
I used to go gym nearby my home. It was Celebrity Fitness. So there they used to do group classes as well. So one of the group class was indoor cycling, RPM.
Mhm.
So I met a trainer, Gautam Verma. At that time, I was not aware that he's a super randonneur too. So in 2015, I met him, and I was very very regular to his classes, for his RPM classes. And that time I used to, for weekend, Sunday morning is for me, it was like going out and attend photo walks. I'm very fond of macro photography.
Okay.
So one day he asked me that I'm planning a newbie cycling for a newbie. So you also join. So I said, I can't do cycling. I'm a person with epilepsy. So he said, don't worry, I will give you a company throughout the ride. So I'm like, okay, where are you going? First tell me. Kehte, we will be starting from Taj Palace Hotel, Delhi, and we'll be going to India Gate, and we'll be coming back, and we'll be riding slow. And I will be riding beside you. So you don't worry. Like, okay, let me see. I will confirm you. So somehow, like, since childhood I used to do cycling, so I confirmed him and I joined his cycling newbie cycling group. And later on I become a regular, and then I asked him, Mecca, suggest me a bicycle. I don't know about bicycles. So initially he suggested me a hybrid bike, which I still have on the trainer, indoor trainer. So I did my first century on that bicycle on Valentine's Day. So I also, he added me into his main cycling group, where
Mhm.
he almost conveyed every member who used to accompany me. Sometimes he's not accompanying me, so he conveyed every member that take care of Vinay. He's a person with epilepsy, so don't leave him alone. So
Right.
this happened with me. So in Brevets as well, I used to get company. So
Okay.
whether it is my first 200 till ultras, or I would say there were 20 riders from my group only to in Brest Paris. So I was
Wow.
never left alone.
So, from you started your riding in 2015,
Yes.
and uh, you have done brevets through the years, and you went ahead and participated in Paris Brest Paris.
Yes.
Were you able to complete the ride? How was that
No,
experience?
I abandoned that ride at 473 kilometers mark. Matlab, that
Okay.
was in between Ludiac to Carre,
Okay.
because that terrain was completely different. Like most of the North India terrain is flat. To be very
Right.
frank with you, well, if you
Delhi
want to
is
climb,
completely flat, I guess. Yeah.
yes, we are doing, like, especially the terrain in which we are doing brevets, it is completely flat.
Okay. So the course there is quite undulating, a lot of elevation gain,
Yes,
lot of winds, and
yes,
the weather conditions are completely different. So it is quite an alien. I mean, lot of factors kind of come into the
yes.
picture, right?
When I was riding from Tintianic to Ludiac, I saw a windmill, and when I saw a windmill, I immediately, like I was like, windmill is, if windmill is there, it means winds are coming. That's why they have
They place them where there are more
yes,
winds, right?
yes.
Yeah.
That's why they have placed the windmill over there. to generate the energy.
Yeah.
So later on, I understood why they have placed the windmill and why it is challenging. But it was a
Right.
one thing. It's all about thought process, accepting failure and learning from failure.
Exactly.
How you are accepting and learning from failure. I accepted that and learned from that failure.
Right. Right. What was your longest ride so far?
I have done BRM 1000 kilometer twice.
Okay. When was this?
I did one BRM that was from Surat. That started from Surat till Abu Road and back to Surat. That I did in 2018, and recently in 2000 December 2021, I did a BRM which usually starts from Delhi to Wagah border and back to Delhi. But
Okay.
this time the route was changed due to farmers' protest. It started from Gurgaon and we touched Wagah border, and it concluded at there is a place, I forgot that name, outskirts of Delhi on.
Right. Okay. So, what was your experience riding, these long ultra endurance rides? Like 1,000 kilometers is quite a long ride, right? So, even with people who are fully healthy and everything, they experience hallucinations and due to sleep deprivation, extreme fatigue and stuff. So uh, how does an long endurance ride like that, ultra endurance effort like that affect someone like you with a condition like epilepsy, and how did you kind of deal with?
Sleep is very important for a person with epilepsy. Normally, it is advised to have a sleep of 7 to 8 hours. But yes, since I'm doing endurance ride since long, so I used to sleep early and I used to wake up early. But when I planned for a brevet, so I started doing kind of sleep banking. So I used to do sleep banking for BRM so that it should not I should not have any challenge during BRM.
Right.
So this BRM, I was doing. I did the centenary ride of 200 kilometer, which happened in September 2021, and after that, I immediately did this 1,000 kilometer. So there was a very long gap of long endurance cycling, because after PBP I started running. Before that, I was never into running portfolio.
Okay.
And in from 2020 in from 2020 March, the lockdown happened and nothing was happening. Whatever was happening indoors.
Right.
So it was the longest. I would say I resumed my BRMs through 1000 kilometers.
Okay.
So it was like I was riding whole day, and you after that coming back to the control point, the night control point, it was a hotel only. My whole group used to sleep for 4 5 hours. We were maintaining that speed, that yes, we'll ride whole day and then we will have a good sleep for the next day.
Okay. And when you got into running, right? How was that experience? What was the
uh,
longest running event you have done, and how is that different from cycling in terms of dealing with your condition?
I was aware of one of my running group by the name of Adidas Runner. So Nivedita Samantha is a very close friend of mine, and she's my coach as well. So I just messaged her that I have bought Hoka shoes from Paris, because after abandoning my ride, my co-riders were two of co-riders also abandoned, and they were looking for trail running shoes of Hoka brand. And I said, Mecca, suggest me road running shoes. And they said, you never did any kind of running event and you are asking for road running shoes. Mecca, so what? Mecca, suggest me a pair. In India, I might do running as well. So I just dropped me a message. Mecca, can I join for a running session? Kehti, yes. Mecca, but I'm not having Adidas pair. Kehti, it's okay. Just come. So Airtel Delhi half marathon was scheduled in October 3rd week. So she said, since you are doing endurance since long, so just come, let me see how you are running, and I would prefer you should sign up for a 10 kilometer. So she was training women's brigade that time, and she joined me at around after 54-55 minutes, and she just asked me how much kilometer you have ran. I have ran almost 7 kilometers now. And she immediately asked me, what is your heart rate? It is around 162, 163. And I was talking to her very easily. So she just said, yeah, the half marathon is 6 kilometers away, 6 weeks away, and you are running so easily and you have covered this distance. Don't sign up for 10 kilometer. Just directly sign up for a half marathon. So I did. Now Airtel Delhi half marathon does not permit a newbie to sign up for a half marathon directly. So I did a 10 kilometer first event. Then I signed up for a half marathon, and I did my first half marathon in 2 hours 40 minutes.
Okay, in 2020.
Yes, no, in 2019, after coming back
2019.
from Paris. And she featured me that I'm a person with epilepsy, and I did a half marathon. And one blogger saw her story and dropped me a personal message. And that blogger is also a marathoner, and she dropped me a message that I want to meet you. That time, like, my close circle was aware that I'm a person with epilepsy. I never used to speak about epilepsy socially. So I met her, and she listened whole entire story. And after that, somehow, like, something I said came into mind, that I'm missing something. I have done 4 super randonneur title. I did ultra. I attempted Brest Paris, and recently I did a half marathon. But not every person with epilepsy do this. So I would say I have done most of the training rides with army people as well. So one of my co-rider is, I would say, a senior rider, is a lieutenant general in army. So I just took his advice, because sir, his name is Lieutenant General Anil Puri. So I asked him, sir, I need your advice. I'm thinking to write about epilepsy. So he clearly advised me, in army too, there are people who are serving person with epilepsy who are serving Indian army.
Wow.
But we all know it can happen at any age. But if the person get diagnosed with epilepsy, we don't give him a front, we change his profile. But if you want to write something about epilepsy, just write motivational way, don't write clinically, because the medicines which are helping you, that doesn't mean it will help another person.
Correct.
Okay sir, thanks for your kind advice. So after that, I started writing about epilepsy on my Instagram. And my close friend, her name is Garima Shankar, she's into journalism. So she used to write about travel. So she saw my post, and she shared my post to another journalist who was working with the Hindu, and she told me that I have shared your profile with somebody, and she might call you. The lady who was working in Hindu was working as assistant editor in the Hindu. So I got a call, and she took a telephonic interview of mine, and that was the first time. Then she asked me that mail me some of your images to me on my email address. I'm like, okay. And after a few days, my whole interview got published on the Hindu newspaper. And it happened like in Adidas runners group, most of my co-runners were sharing their timings of Tata Mumbai Marathon 2020, and I shared that article during that day only. Thanks to you guys that who motivated me about speaking about epilepsy. So one of in administration of Adidas runners, one of the mentor in Adidas runners, he was in the managing committee of New Delhi Marathon as well. So that time I was training for full marathon. So he shared my story to NEB, and I got a call from NEB PR that would you like to share your story? Yes, why not? So I shared my story, they published my story, and I got an invite for the just a day before the marathon event. I got a invite to meet Sachin Tendulkar, and I got a felicitation from him. So after that, lockdown happened. It is a good time to utilize to connect with the other person with epilepsy. So at that time, I was aware about complex partial epilepsy. So I started studying about epilepsy, what are the types of epilepsy, kind of epilepsy, and I wrote a blog on myself, my whole journey, and I submitted that blog to a website which is called Living Well with Epilepsy. It is a US website, and they published that blog in Epilepsy Awareness Month, which is November. And I shared my blog to my neurologist, Dr. Manjari Tripathi, and immediately after an hour, I got her email that we are doing a webinar with Sir Jonty Rhodes, and I want you to be there as a patient speaker. So, like, ma'am, it will be a good opportunity for me to interact with a person with epilepsy. Right now, I am just writing, and it will be a platform for me to interact with people directly. So after that, I attended that webinar as a speaker over there, and then I became a part of Indian Epilepsy Association, and I joined Ekatvam group in Delhi and Samman Association Mumbai.
Okay. So, what are these Ekatvam and Saman
They
groups?
are, yeah, these are groups, and they are working for betterment of person with epilepsy.
Oh, kind of welfare association sorts, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, please go ahead.
Samman Association is a chapter of Indian Epilepsy Association.
Okay, now you during cycling, you had people riding along with you. Always
Hmm.
had company as a kind
Hmm.
of precaution to make sure that if there is a kind of event, epileptic event, you would be able to. I mean, someone is there to kind of take care of your safety.
Yes.
And was it the same case while you were running? Did you always have had to have company, or how
Yes.
did that work?
Yes. Same case happened with me in running as well. That I always had a company during
Mhm.
running as well,
But
because
see if how does it work if because if this a seizure can happen at any time with how do you get any warnings signs
yes,
to
some seizures are like you feel an aura before your seizure. Some seizures, not all seizures come with an aura. In some
okay.
seizures, you feel an aura. In some people feel an aura, some people don't. So I
Okay,
used to
so
feel an aura
okay, you used to get a sensation that
sensation
say pre seizure
and
sensation,
warning.
kind of warning feeling
Yes,
that said okay, seizure is oncoming, so that you can immediately stop or get yourself into safety.
yes,
Is that correct? Okay.
yes, yes,
Okay. So people who want to, who are having epilepsy and don't have this kind of, aura, so to speak, yeah, that notion that an idea that a seizure is coming on is essentially what you are referring to as aura, right? If
yes.
that is not there, they need to be a lot more careful in that case.
Yes,
Okay.
like I remember when I joined cycling, my whole group they used to wear ID band, and
Mm.
when I saw, I said, "Meka, I need an ID band." So they arranged a ID band for me as well. In that ID band, they mention my name, my blood group, my age, as well as contacts number, and any medical issue.
Okay.
So whenever I have a conversation with person with epilepsy, I always advise them to wear a ID band.
Right. Yeah, that is a very good advice. So, were you able? You were mentioning that you were training for full marathon.
Yes,
Did you manage to do that? And what was your longest run?
like I did my full marathon in 2020, and I completed that full marathon in 5 hours 14 minutes.
Okay, nice. And was it the only marathon so far?
I attempted again in 2020 the New Delhi Marathon, but when I finished 21 kilometers, I had a seizure. So after that,
Okay.
I abandoned that marathon, and I was registered for this year one too. But this time, I undergone through my surgery.
Surgery, right,
Yes,
right. Probably next year would be a good year for
yes,
you to.
yes,
Excellent. So when you said you had a seizure after completing 21 kilometers, were you able to notice the aura and able
Yes,
to get yourself in a safe situation?
I was into stadium like in New Delhi Marathon. They make two loops, so I was at stadium only that moment.
Okay.
So I abandoned
Okay.
that moment.
Great. So,
Even during BRMs, my co-riders keep my SS medicines with themselves.
Well, you mentioned this event that epileptic seizure happening during a run like this now, right? In a marathon. Did any instance happen in any of your rides like this?
It happened twice. Once I stopped myself, and second time I was riding with a lady. So she was riding a bit slow, and I was riding a bit fast. So after a few minutes, I just used to wait for her, and I used to just look back where she is. So in that looking back moments, I missed reading my aura. So I just met a minor accident, but my bike was damaged. So after that, I changed my bike. Now I'm having a new one.
But so you were riding and then were looking back, and then you kind of missed
No,
reading that sign.
I was stopping to
Uh-huh.
see her where she is. So
Okay.
when she crossed by me, I just started. So my speed was very low.
Okay. So you were when the seizure happened, you were riding, and then you met with you
Yes,
had the seizure and you fell. Okay.
yes,
Okay. Thankfully, not too bad, except for the bike being damaged.
yes.
It's good. So
But
I
after
mean,
that, my first call was, "Can I replace that bike?"
yeah. And did you complete that event after that or abandon?
Which I was doing this training ride that time.
Okay, okay, okay. That was during training for that. Okay,
Yes.
but yeah, man, this has been a fantastic, journey. You starting from 135 kgs, then losing more than 65 kilos, and now picking up. Cycling, doing 4 SRs, 1,000 kilometers twice, and half marathon and marathon. All these while dealing with a condition like epilepsy.
In fact,
It's been a
uh,
fantastic
my
journey.
last BRM was for like I took permission from Audix India director Mr. Raghu Vishal that I want to do this BRM for epilepsy awareness. So I got his permission and I did that BRM for along with NGO Ekatvam, and there was a press conference happened just 2 days before my BRM, and Ekatvam group invited the ambassador of Canada embassy. So she came here, and I was like, it was something. I would say sometimes I can't say now. Like
No, but
working for the
no,
community gives you some special regard. So
definitely, it is one thing that you experiencing a condition, and then coming out of depression and coming out of depression and dealing with it and becoming active again, and staying active while dealing with a condition like that. And now on top of that, going ahead and spreading awareness for the condition, so that others who are suffering from that can benefit and probably turn their life around is absolutely commendable.
my main objective is for every person with epilepsy is to maintain their health, not to promote cycling. I don't promote cycling to them because for a person who cannot read an aura or who is having a generalized seizure, it is very risky for a person, for that person doing cycling. So I always advise them that if you want to be a physically active, so do some walks, some easy walks. If you feel that yes, you can go for a running, make a go and run. And if you feel like yes, I can do cycling, Mecca, you have to take a company with yourself. You have to do some precautions, Mecca, then only I can say for cycling, else I won't be saying yes, you can do cycling.
That is a really good point, because it is extremely important that you need to be putting your health first, not
Yes,
some physical activity, or some extraneous targets If you are able to take care of your health and your safety, that becomes paramount. So
See,
yeah, that's a very good point.
See, like when I got discharged from hospital, from AIMS, my neurologist came at the time of discharge, and she specially advised me that for next 6 months you are not going for cycling, you are not going for running, you are not going for weight training, because the fast heart rate that will give a fast blood flow, and that fast blood flow will come into brain of no, I would say into nervous system, and after surgery you have to keep your nervous system into a relaxed mode for a better recovery.
Right.
So I understood her point, that what she wants to convey me. So now I want to keep myself maintained as well, and I want to keep myself physically fit. Now what I should do? So I started doing easy walks. So I'm doing easy walks. That's it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is a very good point you're making about putting your health first and doing absolutely only that much that is needed to take care of your health and safety.
Yes.
Right? Excellent. This is been fantastic chat, Vinay. Thank you for sharing your journey. To kind of conclude this session, what are some of the tips that you would give working athletes to do well?
Yes. Like I would say that life is all about ups and downs. So don't get too much excited when you are into your up phase, and don't get too much depressed into your down phase. Make your willpower strong so that you can get back into your normal life. So this is something which I have learned from my whole life.
Yeah, excellent advice. Thanks again, Vinay. Thank you for joining the Working Athlete podcast and sharing your journey.
Thank you. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much.
Right. That was my conversation with Vinay. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are enjoying these podcasts and are finding them useful, please consider supporting the podcast by subscribing to the channel on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcasting app. It really helps. Thanks again for your continuous support. See you next week with another guest.